Bunch of hogwash.
It is hogwash, Tad Boyle, head coach of the CU Buffs basketball team, men's. Yeah.
Bunch of hogwash.
Okay, yeah, you just had to say it once. Anyway, it's hogwash because I got mosquito bites all over my head. I have a bald head, so you can really see it. If I had hair, which I don't, I got a dusting of hair on top of my melon, but you can see them, and it's disgusting. Okay, pisses me off. Why? Because I was outside last night for 5 minutes with my wife and daughter, and they're enjoying their lives where mosquitoes don't really give two shits about them. But when mosquitoes see that I'm outside, they're like, we got to go suck him off. That's what happens. That's what I assume goes through the mind of mosquitoes. They're like, oh, Scotty's out. Let's go suck him off. Right? And then I come inside after being like super itchy because I can feel it all the time when they're on me. Okay? Like, God damn it. My wife and daughter are looking at me like I'm going nuts. Like I'm like one false, move from going into a loony bin. That's what they're looking at me like. What is wrong with him? And they're like non-verbally talking to each other like, oh my God, this is our lives. This is my father. And my wife's like, this is my husband. Oh my gosh. And I go inside and I'm like, I can't stand it anymore because itching is terrible torture. Okay. Anyway, I go inside. My daughter had a friend over that night. They kept going in and out of the back door. Next thing I know, I'm trying to escape the mosquitoes by being inside. Next thing I know, there's mosquitoes in my ear going. All of a sudden, you get this when you're sitting on the couch. I'm like, ah! Smacking my head. Anybody walking by is like, oh, he's crazy. That guy's crazy. I heard he eats his fingernails. Right? Something like that. Okay? I go to the garage and I get the best gift I've ever received, a bug zapper. Plug it in and put it on my kitchen countertop. It was so great. That motherfucker was popping because the girls kept going in and out of the back door, and all the mosquitoes made their way in, and pop, 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 pop. What a beautiful sound that bug zappers make when they start frying up those stupid asshole mosquitoes. I love it. Love it. Drives me nuts. Mosquitoes, hate them. I don't know what purpose they serve other than spreading disease and pissing me off. That's it, right? Right. I imagine they get like aroused by when I come outside. There could be like a group of people and they're like, oh gosh, it's been hard times. Haven't really had a good suck off in a while. And then I come outside and they're like, oh, sweet Jesus Lord. They're smoking a cigarette. The mosquitoes are. They're like, is that? Uh-huh. There it is. Pop, pop. And they're like, let's go suck off on that fella. And then they pop all over my body and starts draining me of my fluids, okay? Blood, okay? It's terrible. So annoying. So yeah, I got right. The worst one is in the direct back of my head. It's like a button on the back of my head. And obviously it made it worse when I was sleeping, rolling around. So, and I didn't realize it was there at first, and I scratched like a hard scratch, and I'm like, ah, and I think I kind of cut it. Oh, it's fucking annoying. Mosquitoes, man, I freaking hate you. Hate you so much. Hate you so goddamn much. Guys, you know what I do love? I'm sorry. Listen, if I know there's all these theories about why mosquitoes love certain people. Maybe you eat cheese. Maybe you masturbate too much. I don't know. Blood type. Stuff like that. Whatever the reason. Okay? It seems like it changes every 6 months. Whatever it is, I do it. And I don't, and it drives me batshit crazy. Batshit crazy. Anyway, guys, we got a great show today. Tons of funny headlines. Let's forget about my issues. Maybe you have the same issues. It's okay. I'm here with you. We have a support group. That support group is DeHuff Uncensored. Let's go ahead and jump into those headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
Well, this is something that nobody should have to say this to another adult, maybe a kid. Okay, that makes sense. What am I talking about? I've never heard of this guy, but apparently he's fairly popular. Noah Kahan, Kahan. I don't know who he is. I don't mean that disrespectfully. Whatever. He's a musician, I believe a folk singer. He had to remind his fans, because he's doing a concert on Friday night, this last Friday, in Philadelphia. He had to remind them that if you have to go to the bathroom, guys, just go walk to the restroom and do it. If you have to, as he said, go number 2, go to the bathroom. Do that. Why? Because some fan decided to defecate near the stage during his concert, again, in Philly on Friday night. This is what he wrote on Twitter. If you have to poop at the show, please, dear God, just go to the bathroom. LMAO. I don't think that's a LMAO situation. That should be an exclamation mark. That's it. Or an angry face. Okay? He continued with, I've pooped my pants as much as the next 29-year-old. I'm sorry, what are you admitting to? You're a frequent pants pooper, buddy? Okay? Don't think I'd go out there and publicly say that, sir, but whatever. He added, but you guys got to understand, there's a venue worker out there with a 1,000-yard stare after dealing with that. I still don't think he should have said, like, hey, I poop my pants just like everyone else. That's not a very common thing. Maybe it is. We just don't talk about it. I don't go coach Little League Baseball and start chit-chatting with the other coaches. And they're like, oh, my God, guess what I did today? What, Carl? Oh, I shit my pants. You did? And Brandon's like, I sure did too. My goodness gracious. Look at us. We're poop buddies. No, nobody does that. Those vocal impressions, identical. No, it's just like nobody talks about that. So maybe it's an epidemic. I don't know. I know I've come very, very close. I'm racking my brain to find out. There's one time when I was like 19, I was sick and I took a bunch of medicine and I didn't read the warning label and it says could cause, diarrhea or something. And I did a test for it and yeah, it was bad. So I did do it once at least. I remember talking to a buddy. He was, at the time that it happened, he was in his mid 40s and he said that him and his wife were on a road trip and he tries to let out a little squeaker and it was a full on, he said it wasn't even a little, it was quite a bit. Ruined his pants. Thankfully there was a McDonald's. They pull over to the McDonald's. He squishy walks, squish, 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 squish. Squish walks to the restroom, cleans himself off, and leaves the soiled underwear in the trash can in the restroom. Poor workers. Guys, guess who gets screwed over? It's the employees. When I worked at Safeway, I had to clean up feces off the floor twice in the women's room, never once in the men's room. So, ladies, yeah, us guys might miss the urinal every now and then because apparently some guys are like 10 feet away thinking that they can aim for the little, 6x6 hole that's the urinal. I don't know. I still don't understand why some guys miss so terribly. But anyway, so it's either urine on the floor or feces on the floor, which is worse. Pick your poison. Anyway, another guy did something similar. He was on a road trip and he crapped his pants. And I want to say essentially the same scenario where he found a restroom and just cleaned himself off. I believe he was a little bit more graphic. It was a one-stall restroom, so he locked the door and was able to wash himself off in the sink and stuff like that. It's disgusting. So gross. Yeah, I don't think that that's a big enough thing where this guy can go, hey, I've crapped my pants just like any other 29-year-old. I don't know. You guys tell me, is this more common than I realize? I'm not judging you if it's happened to you. I get it. Sometimes there's weird circumstances, but that's terrible. I almost did it once. Here, real quick side story. My wife and we go to Firehouse Subs, have an amazing sub. And for whatever reason, it did not sit well with my stomach. And we were a 10-minute drive from home. And I get in the car. Before we even got in the car, I started getting the sweats. And I'm thinking, I'll just wait to go till I get home. Right? And we pull out of the parking lot, and my wife looks at me and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't think so." And it's literally the sweats. And I'm like, I'm like breathing calmly and whatnot. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom super bad, super bad. So she's like, pull over here. There's a King Supers or there's a Subway right there. I'm like, I don't know where the bathroom is at that King Supers. Because sometimes they're in the back, sometimes they're in the front. They're either off to the left, off to the right. I don't know. I don't know if I have that kind of time. But then if you go into a Subway, it's usually one person can go in there. So I'm like, I'm rolling the dice. So I was like, fuck it. We're going to Subway. I know where the bathroom's at. Please, God, let there be nobody in there. And I literally did do this like the squeak walk where I'm like contorted. We were talking about that guy from Men in Black, the bad guy who was like, I'm the cockroach, whatever. And he's like, that's me walking, right? And thank God. Otherwise, I would have just fallen to the floor like in the movie Bridesmaids, where they all get sick from bad Indian food. And I ran in there. Holy God, I'm not going to say the details, but I barely made it. I barely made it. I felt so relieved and so scared. My wife's like, what if somebody would have been there? I was probably would have ran out and ran home and I wouldn't get in the car because it ruined the car. Anyway, guys, I didn't know we were going to talk this much about this. Okay. And then to make it worse, this next story, but real quick, circling back to that one. If you're at a concert, don't crap on the floor, go use a toilet. Okay. Shouldn't have to say that, but here we are. Now, oddly enough, this story has similarities to the previous story. Didn't realize it until I start looking at the rundown today. Because sometimes what I do, I find stories and I'll either drop it into the rundown while I'm doing other things. Next thing I know, and then I go to sit down to do the show and I'm like, oh, wait, whoa, I did not see the theme. It's weird. A 19-year-old man in the UK has admitted to deliberately defecating in public swimming pools on multiple occasions. Guys, I didn't know that was going to be a theme today. According to a staff member at the pool, there were 18 contamination incidents between February 2nd and May 21st of this year. Each incident resulted in the pool being closed while cleaning and safety procedures were carried out. I meant to get the soundbite of Doody! Doody! I don't even remember what movie that's from, but it's hilarious. I don't know what I would do if I saw a turd floating in the swimming pool. You know, if you go into a swimming pool and your eyes are irritated by the water, it's not the chlorine, it's the mixture of the ammonia in your urine mixed with the chlorine that is fucking up your eyes. You're welcome. That's happened to all of us, okay? Don't piss in pools. Don't poop at concerts on the ground. Don't poop at pools as well. My dogs are freaking out upstairs. So hopefully that's not pissing you off. Sorry. It's real life, people. It's that time of year again when people get too close to bison at Yellowstone National Park. Sadly, the first one of the year goes to a 12-year-old. And last year at this time, it was some older dude from New Jersey, that's what it was, New Jersey. In regards to the 12-year-old, he was injured. I don't know the severity of the injuries, no details on how it happened, blah, 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 blah. But I will say this, the finger is firmly pointed at the parents. Don't you think? Now, that's what's going to happen. That's the social judgment, right? Everybody's going to point their finger at the parents. As a parent, I understand that. And it sucks. But also as a parent, I understand, especially when they're in that age bracket, that you could tell them till you're blue in the face, whatever you do, don't go near the bison. And when I say don't go near, they're suggesting don't go anywhere closer than 25 yards away from the bison. Now, you're 12 years old. You should know how many feet are in a yard, okay? Yeah, I'm just going to tell you that's 75 feet. That's not fucking close. Stay away from the bison, okay? Dumbass. They run up to 35 miles per hour. That's faster than any human on the planet right now, okay? They're also 6 feet tall-ish, 2,000 pounds. They'll fuck you up. Okay, I won't. Next thing you know, the little Timmy's getting hurled around the freaking Yellowstone Park, going, this isn't my fault. Meanwhile, he was trying to do a video. Hey, guys, what's up? Yo, this is Tim. I'm here at Yellowstone National Park. What's up, yo? This place is buns, yo. Oh, look, there's a bison. It's looking at me, guys. Let's go see. Let's go interview him. Hey, man, what's up? My name's Tim. This place is buns, am I right? And then the bison fucking hurls him off. There's only so much parents can do. I get it. But ultimately, it's going to come down to the parents. They're going to be the ones in trouble. So way to go, little Timmy, you dumb fuck. Yeah, so they say, sorry, it sucks that it's a kid. I hate that. I hate it. It's sad. It's scary. It makes me think of my kids. And as a coach, like all the kids that I've interacted with, like, man, I'd be devastated if anything bad happened to any one of them. But then sometimes you go, well, did the parents say something? And if they did, I mean, fucking kid, man. Stupid. So I told you that the park regulations requires visitors to keep at least 25 yards away from bison. They also mentioned staying 100 yards away from wolves and bears. And what's crazy, especially with bears and bison, you see it every year on social media where there's dumbass tourists trying to get their picture as close as possible to bears and to bison so they can, get a picture, get a selfie. Here, let's see if we can put little Timmy right next to it. Woo, there he goes. Oh, my. Boy, that's a good picture. That's going to go viral in a bad way. Right? Come on, guys. Don't be the dummy that does that. That's bad parenting. It is. Unless it's just a dumb kid. I don't know. I know you're not supposed to say that. That's bad form, Scott. You can't say that. You can't say the kid's dumb. Well, really, I can't? Sometimes, as a parent, you just got to go, yeah, some eggs are broken. That kid's a couple fries short of a Happy Meal. I'll tell you what, man. That's crazy. J.R. Slick, a big-time listener of this show, lives up in Montana. J.R., tell me how much is this dominating the news programming? And anytime you, JR, or anybody else sees somebody doing something dumb like this, whether it's at Yellowstone or whatever, you got to send it to me because I don't always see it. It's wild. They have that over at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal here in Colorado. Beautiful place. I suggest you go visit. And they have bison out there roaming around. And you can pull over at certain points. They have bears out there too, I believe. But you can pull over. And there's one time my wife and I were out there. And we're like, damn, these things They were about maybe 30 yards away, and they were fucking ginormous. And my wife and I were thinking the classic, what why would anybody want to get out of there? And then this lady in this white car that was near us, she got out and was like kind of walking towards her, and we started recording. We're like, ooh, we should, like, we don't want to interfere with natural selection. We're like, let's just see if it happened. No, nothing. Oh, darn, she didn't get tossed across the field. No. But as we were talking about why would anybody be dumb enough to get out of their car and try to approach one of these, we literally had a lady do that. It was fucking bizarre. Speaking of wild animals, Gracie the giraffe was on the loose in Texas from somebody's farm, and she was on the loose for almost 2 weeks. They couldn't find her, which is bizarre to me because she's 4 years old. And then I Googled it. I was like, how tall is the average giraffe that's 4 years old? And they say between 10 and 12 feet tall. Like, how do you not find a 12-foot object moving around? Now, obviously, I don't know what the landscape was like. Maybe it was very dense forest or whatever. But I just saw that and I'm like, it's like 12 feet tall wandering around. How do you guys not find it? They found it with like a helicopter or a plane surveying the area. They finally found it. Then the next chore was to wrangle it up and put it back to a safe place. Probably the best 2 weeks of that giraffe's life. I got to be honest. Wandering around. Like, this is fantastic. It makes you realize that in some areas there could be animals like that live eventually free reign in the United States. Like, if you think about the animals at the zoo that won't eat you, that could be wandering around and survive in the United States. Obviously, it depends on the climate and whatnot. I could see giraffes making it. That would be kind of neat. Kind of neat. Kind of fucked up though. Like if you're, cranking one out in the shower, next thing you know, you're looking out the window and there's Gracie the giraffe, checking you up and down. He's like, that's an adorable little twig you got there. I'm just trying to think what other animals could make it out here. There's probably some. I'm my brain's a blank. What would be scary is like fucking rhinos and shit like that. That would scare the fuck out of me. Or elephants? No. Maybe not that many. But I don't, monkeys. I would not want monkeys on the loose. Mostly because they could be those ones that have diseases that they experiment on and they say, oh, they escaped and they got herpes. Oh, wait. No, they don't. They don't. You guys remember that story from last year where they made this big to-do about all these monkeys that got loose in, I think, Mississippi? And at first, when it first came out, they're like, they have, these were test monkeys that have herpes and all these other diseases. It went out for like a couple hours. Then all of a sudden, somebody had to retract it. They're like, no, that was a miscommunication. They're fine. Just don't approach them. Don't approach them because they will rip your face off and give you herpes. Allegedly. You guys probably saw the video. This is kind of sports related. Remember when the Knicks won the championship? Pretty cool for the city. And Timothy Chalamet. There was, during the parade, it went viral because it was clear as day. Beautiful photography by whoever caught this lady picking up a New York Knicks street trash can. A classic metal woven? Yeah, weaved trash can. It was spray painted, it was like professionally done, orange and blue, Knicks themed, dumps out all the trash onto the street, full on clean 4K picture of this lady's face, dumps it everywhere, walks away with the trash can. Well, this lady went viral, obviously, and a couple things happened. One, she ended up having to return the trash can. Good for her. She should get a bunch of community service and have to clean up New York City for like 100 hours because that's just jacked up. There was a lot of trash in there. But she went viral. She lost her freaking job. She was a DEI director at JPMorgan Chase. That's what I heard it was DEI. I'm not really sure. Okay. But either way, she was a director at JPMorgan Chase. I got that from New York Post, so they may have added that in there because they are fucking weird over at New York Post. So who knows? Either way, she was a director at JPMorgan Chase, and she was fired because of that. Here's what I'll say. Good. Good. You can't do shit like that, you dumbass. One, it's disgusting. It's rude. And it's stupid as shit. Just buy a trash can and spray paint it. It's not that hard. Just go to Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's, something like that. You'll find something. You'll find the paint. You can't do dumb shit. And especially nowadays with cameras everywhere, everybody has a camera in their pocket, dummy. And she's like essentially looking right at the camera. Somebody's maybe 5 feet away, getting a clear as day picture of her just dumping it out and then walking away. Good. Good. I like to hear that. I love to hear that when somebody does something fucked up and then they get caught. Especially adults. You should be better than that. And dummy, you're a director at JPMorgan Chase. They're not going to deal with that shit. That's bad publicity. And they're sitting there going, I don't want that motherfucker working for me. No. Clearly, they can't make good decisions. They're on the street of New York City where everybody's focused on, and they're dumping a trash can out onto the street. There's clearly a camera right in their face. They dump it out and then walk away. Come on. Clearly not the most intelligent individual. So I'm glad. And she deserves a lot of consequences for that. Fuck. Did you guys see that Supergirl collectible drink cup? It's because like Supergirl, I keep saying girl. Supergirl looks like a DC version of Guardians of the Galaxy. I haven't seen it. I'll watch it. It'll probably be good. I'm not a comic book nerd, so I can't sit there and go, this is what's right, this is what's wrong. I'm just going to look at it as, was it entertaining? But from the previews, it looks like a DC version of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I love those movies. And James Gunn, who also did Guardians of the Galaxy, did that one, right? I believe so. So it's just like, it might be great. I guess the reviews, people are, you either love it or you hate it. And part of me wonders, do the people bombing it on the reviews, are those just nerdy boys who have never seen actual boobs in their life? Is that what it is? Okay, they're like, oh my God, she's a woman. The ones that don't acknowledge my existence, other than my mommy. Right? Is that why you guys are saying it's shitty? But the reason I bring that up, Supergirl collectible drink cup is out for you to purchase. And what's funny is she in the movie wears this like leather jacket, trench coat type of thing. And they put it on the collectible drink cup. And if you watch the video version of this, I'll post it on the thing. It looks like Scott, it looks like a fleshlight. That's what you're trying to go for. Basically, if they put some an opening on the top with some latex, you could fuck the cup. Listen, Connery, usually I would say, Connery, no, stop. But spot on. It looks like you could fuck the cup. Seriously, Scotty, I've bought 4. They're not that durable. I'm just saying. Okay, Connery, enough. Okay, that's enough. Here's what's is funny about it. And maybe you guys know, or maybe you guys know somebody that is in the know. I would like to. Do you think that they do that on purpose so they could sell more? Like, because who buys those? There is one for the Supergirl one where it's a popcorn holder and it's Lobo played by Jason Momoa, and you could put like 10 pieces of popcorn in the popcorn bucket. It's a cool. It's his little roadster that he drives or whatever, and you put like this little tiny, maybe a palm full of popcorn into this little area. I'm like, why would anybody want that for popcorn? It's novelty. So as much as I make fun of this, the angle has to be that you're going to sell more of them because it looks like you can fuck it. Just saying. Just saying. If they made that a popcorn bucket and it was kind of like that Dune bucket where you could stick your hand in there and there's a little bit of, resistance, a little bit. Okay, I'm just saying they'd probably sell a bunch of them. You see all these. The more controversial it is, the more likely it's going to get publicity and more likely that people are going to buy it. I need to do some research. Maybe you do it. I'm not going to do it. Do some research on what are the top selling movie novelty items, whether it's popcorn bucket or in this case, a cup. Because everybody remembers the Dune one. That one was, as much as that one was crazy and it looked like either a butthole or just some sort of, or not really a vagina. It was more of a butthole, and you stick your hand in there. It had a big cavity where you could put a lot of popcorn in it. And you saw the Deadpool Wolverine ones where it's just their mouth open. They just embraced it. People would buy it because of that. I got to look up, again, look up which ones are the most popular, which ones sold the most. Because those are fascinating to me. Fascinating. So there you go, guys. That's it. That's it for the headlines. I do want to say this because here in Colorado, we're dealing with something crazy and we deal with it all the time. Even if you're out in California, you guys deal with it a lot. Utah. And I know it's that time of year where everybody wants to play with fireworks. Most of the places here in Colorado, it's illegal to have fireworks. And these are all the counties where it's illegal for fireworks. Jefferson County, Adams County, that's where I live. Arapahoe County, Boulder County, Garfield County, unincorporated areas, it says. Eagle County. That's where they're, at least where I found it. It's bizarre to me because it's so freaking dry here in Colorado. It's surprising to me that Denver County's not on there. It's surprising to me that it's not just the whole fucking state, right? It's weird to me. And there's a fire. I guess it started off as the Jones fire, and then there was a Snyder fire, and then they just merged it, and it's just the Snyder fire. That's on the border of Colorado and Utah. 28,000 acres so far that is burning. As of this morning, when I saw it, sadly, 3 firefighters lost their lives battling this fire. I don't know how it started. I'm not saying it's related to fireworks. But here's what is funny to me. It's always controversial. I'm not a fan of fireworks. I really don't see the appeal of it. I understand the symbolism. I do. I get that. We want to relive all the battles and the bombs bursting in air, right? if you get upset, like you're irate, which I see so many people on social media getting fucking pissed off that they're banning fireworks. Remember those fires not too long ago? Again, wasn't in regards to fireworks. There was a fire where it just ripped through a whole fucking town. Was that the Marshall Fire? It was terrible, devastating. My father-in-law helped out on that one as a battalion chief because it just went so fast. And when we have dry conditions like we're in right now here in Colorado, as well as a lot of the United States, you got to be smart. Firefighters are putting their lives on the line. Okay. Fires, forest fires, fires in homes, those all can ignite and spread super fast in these conditions. Like I said, firefighters are putting their lives on the line, and sadly, 3 of them lost their lives in just this one fire, Snyder Fire. Homes are destroyed with ease, families devastated, fingers gone. If you want to look at it that way, some dumbasses, there's always going to be a story of somebody blowing their fucking hands off or getting, all these nasty burns because they decided to put a bottle rocket up their butthole, something like that, or out of their mouth. I didn't know he'd burn my face off. Come on, man. This isn't just a mountain thing, okay? This is a city thing too. And with our dry conditions, it can just light up a neighborhood. And if it pisses you off that there's restrictions for fireworks, take a step back. Is it going to ruin your life if you don't fire off some bottle rockets and some dumbass fountains, or you want to go up to Wyoming and get the good stuff, okay? Bring it down to Colorado, maybe down in Arvada. Hey, you know what I mean? Maybe Aurora, wherever I live, okay? And you want to fire off those fuckers, okay? If it pisses you off that you can't do that, or you're going to go against the grain and you're afraid your neighbors are going to turn you in because you're celebrating the 4th the way you've always done it ever since you were a kid. Yeah. Take a fucking step back and go, does it really fucking matter? No. Jesus Christ. Don't be a dick. Bypass the fireworks this season, okay? This year. Otherwise, you're going to be the dumbass that starts a fire. Well, I didn't know. You didn't know that we were in a drought and you're only allowed to water twice a week for a certain amount of time? Okay, you didn't know that? Because we all fucking know it. Look around any fucking neighborhood in the Denver metro area, and the majority of the yards have some sort of dead spot somewhere. I got one in the front yard, and I got one in the backyard. And just about every fucking neighbor does up here. Even the guy, my neighbor Jeff, who usually has the best lawn in a 20-block radius, he has, because he's obeying the rules and doesn't want to overwater because we're on water restrictions, he has a dead spot. And I'm basking in that this moment. That's the silver lining, okay? That his lawn is realistic. His real lawn does bleed. Okay? Don't be the dick that fires off fireworks and lights somebody's house on fire, or you go in the middle of nowhere and you set a field on fire. Next thing you know, you burn down a house, or depending on where you're at, you start a fucking wildfire. Don't be the dickheads, okay? And what's fascinating is I know several individuals that have PTSD due to fighting in wars. Not everybody who has seen battle has PTSD to the point where they can't be around loud noises. That's not everybody, but there are a significant amount, and it is traumatizing them. So again, another reason why, just, hey, don't be a dick this year. Next year, who knows? Who knows? Go back to being a dick if the weather's different. Also, animals freak out. I know I know I'm against the grain on this. There's probably most of you that are listening or watching this that are like, DeHuff, you such a pussy. I'm going to go by your house and I got to light off some fireworks. Okay, guess what? I'm going to call the 5-0 on you. Fuzz be coming up your ass. As in, they're going to be coming for your ass, not like up, talking about mosquitoes earlier. Anyway, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. I have no problem with not doing fireworks. My son's disappointed. I believe my daughter's disappointed, but they understand. They're kids. They go, it sucks. I want to do it, Dad. I know. But I get it. I'm like, oh, that's coming from a 13-year-old as well as an 11-year-old. They understand. It's not somebody just trying to be a dick to you going, oh, they just try to control me. Is this not America? Is this not America? No, come on, man. It's not that big of a deal. Don't act like it is. Anywho, guys, that's it for the news. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the show. Really do appreciate it. If you want to interact with the show, I love it when you guys are able. I understand you're busy. It's funny. I was trying to explain that to somebody the other day because I've always noticed this, and we were educated on it when I worked in radio. The amount of people that are able or willing to interact with a show, a program, is very little. The percentage is fairly low. You could have 1 million listeners, and maybe 1 to 2% will interact. It's fascinating. So I get it. I'm not saying you have to interact, but if you want this show to succeed, it's on you. I'm just saying. Like Carl, Team Pato, I'm trying to remember the people that interact on Spotify, Den, Froggy, and there's a few others that will interact. And sometimes they leave comments. Sometimes they just leave a thumbs up or great job, something silly like that. And that's fine. If you can leave a comment, please do so. If you can leave a review, that's great as well, especially if you're on Apple. Leave a review and give it full stars, and that does help make the show grow. So if you can interact in any way, I do truly appreciate it. You guys are amazing. And also, kind of like what I was saying, Spotify's the platform to be at right now. One, it's free. I know sometimes people are like, oh, you have to pay for Spotify. No, that's only if you want to follow like 100 fucking podcasts and download a bunch of fucking music. That's not the way I use Spotify. So it's free, and you can watch it and or listen to the show. It's really cool. It's my favorite platform right now. Anyway, thank you guys so much. It's DeHuff Uncensored, the #1 comedy podcast in the state of Colorado. Let's keep moving forward. I'll talk to you next time.